I just had a list, and every day the list grew, and it felt like I was taking one step forward and two steps back. Hi everyone, I'm Kayla, and welcome to my channel where we talk all about project management in lean teams and startup organizations. First off, I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers. Thank you to everyone new who's watching. Please like and subscribe, comment, let me know what you want to hear more about. I'm really passionate about this place of project management in small teams. I recognize it's a very specific skill set that we need to hone and develop, so I'm interested in how we can do that together. So let me know how I can help you. Now, today's topic is something that just about every team I've worked with has struggled with. Most teams that I work with do not have a framework for this thing. It's something that can really drive people crazy and cause us to want to pull out our hair. Like, it is a topic that is a source of frustration for many, and that is prioritization. And until recently, I didn't really understand prioritization myself. I didn't have a framework for it. I didn't know how to go about figuring out one thing is, higher priority than another. How do you even know this? I just had a list, and every day the list grew, and it felt like I was taking one step forward and two steps back. I think that is a common feeling for many project managers and many people in the world. So how do we figure this out? Like, how do we know something is a higher priority than another? You want to start out by having appropriate goals set. And this is something that is beyond the scope of this video, but it is something that is really the first step in prioritization is goal setting. Figuring out what your North Star is, figuring out what your initiatives are, and having everyone in your organization on the same page. That's the first step. From there, we can then look at everything that's on our list and come up with appropriate priorities. And what I do to help me, the framework that I use for prioritization is something called the Eisenhower Matrix. And what the Eisenhower Matrix is doing is it's basically taking every task you have and it says, is this thing urgent and is it important? And based on the answers to those two questions, we can figure out where to fit that in our priority list. So urgency is really referring to, is this thing, is there a time constraint associated with this thing? Do I have a deadline with this thing? And importance is saying, does this thing lead us to the goals that we've established? And does it lead us effectively to those goals? So you're going to be judging based on those two things, urgency and importance. So you could have 4 different possibilities here, right? We could have something that is urgent and it's important. So this is something where you have a due date and this thing is really important towards your overall goal. That's going to be the highest priority item. Now, if you have an item that is urgent, but it's not important, this is something that's a great candidate for delegation. If you're in a position where you have people on your team who you could delegate to, when you come across these items where you have an urgency, but it's not important or not important to your role in the company or your contribution, then this is a good candidate for delegation. Now, if you have something that is important, but it's not urgent, this is a great one to plan ahead for, to schedule out. So this may be something that really leads you toward the end goal, but you don't have any sort of a timeline or deadline associated with it. You're going to want to schedule that out. And then your last possibility is something that's neither urgent nor important. So why is this even on the list? This is something that usually you're going to be able to, once you do that judgment, is it urgent or important? You'll be able to cross it off your list. Just remove it. Just remove it from the list. And I find so many things fit into this category, and it's so freeing to be able to just say goodbye to those items. So yeah, those are going to go away. Now, sometimes I do find that items that fall into that category of not urgent and not important, it's really like not important right now, maybe, and there may be a future need for that. So you may want to backlog it, but don't put it on that priority list that you're looking at every day or every week or every month. Have a separate backlog for those items. So this framework has really helped me in terms of figuring out how to judge items and where they fit on the scale. How do you prioritize? What's been a helpful technique for you in this area? What has helped your teams? Please share. I'd love to hear. I'll see you soon.